From the house of Born to Stand Out, we have. Hold that thought. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Yeah, the evening. Forgot to pull this up. Finally got it. Okay, from the house of Born to Stand Out, we have Sin and Pleasure, New Kids on the Block, okay? This is a unisex fragrance we're talking about, and I have no clue what to anticipate, but if it's anything like Mary Jane in terms of craftsmanship, I think we're on for a heck of a ride. Similarly to Mary Jane, I'm going to put this on skin because I was pleasantly surprised how much different Mary Jane was on skin than the test strip. We're also going to hit the test strip because that's what we do. The test strip killers. Hit that with a good amount of sprays. And man, I love the decants on this as well as the craftsmanship of the bottles. That white on red is just so standout. It's amazing how simplicity really works when your colors and aesthetic are right with the bottle and everything. They've really hit it out the park aesthetically for me. Okay, I can tell you in the air before I even start getting into my science bag on this fragrance, we're dealing with a woody, sweet fragrance of some sort. We're going to let the fragrance dry down on my skin, so I'll deal with that later. Oh, wow. It's crazy. In the air, I get this more holiday sweet type of Clive Christian Gourmand Oriental slash Angel Share slash... You know, that whole vanillic plum cinnamon slash holiday potpourri vibe in a good way. I did not like Clive Christian's E Oriental or whatever. E Gourmand, I think it was. I do like Angel Share for sure. It smells more Angel Share-esque with a more chestnutty vibe in the air. But on the test strip, it's a lot more fresh. In the most earthy way possible. Is there oud in this? It feels like either patchouli or oud. Like all this sweetness goes way to the background on the test strip. So I'm going to be super curious to see how this goes on skin. These are, you know, when I recently did a panel. Shout out to fragrance connoisseurs. Shout out to Suits and Scents. Shout out to Fat Boy Finesse. Shout out to Siage Saint and Gator from Novice Knows. We recently did a panel, and Suits and Scents discussed that one of the things he really appreciates about Niche, because he's team Niche, is you really see the quality difference in transition, the way a fragrance transitions and breaks down and or comes together on skin. These are fragrances so far that seem to be very much like, do not put them on test strips and judge if you'll like them. It's substantial how much of a difference it is between the test strip and skin, at least with Mary Jane. But out in the air right now, I get holiday, woody, sweet vibes, even almost like caramel or something like that. But on the test strip, I get more of like, almost like a mineralic, fresh oud and like patchouli. One of the three, maybe a combo. I don't really know. The sweetness becomes secondary, almost like a 60-40 distribution. And at first sniff, almost feels like 70-30 more like I get reminiscence of like, Tom Ford Oud Wood. I get a little bit of Initio Oud for Greatness deep in there. And I get like just some patchouli-esque stuff, you know, not like Hachivat or anything like that. Or well, Hachivat's oak moss patchouli, I believe. But man, I mean, these are hitting palettes in my mind that are like, I'm already convinced I have to get the ultimate discovery set from this house because I think it's a Korean brand. They're really messing with good work, good product. As far as like conversation starter, scent trail, transition, composition, depth, quality, sillage, projection, and longevity. So far, these two fragrances have been monstrous. I'm trying to just buy talk time to let the fragrance sit down so I can talk to it. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so I get this kind of like super fresh holiday, almost cinnamon, vanillic, caramellic, in the most freshest way possible. Like it doesn't feel overdone like old potpourri that you'd put in your bathroom. But it also doesn't feel so overly Thanksgiving holiday or fall vibes where it's like goes into the holiday category. It sits right in the middle where it safely feels like a fragrance that you can wear outside of the holidays. But then up close, it's like I get like Tom Ford Oud Wood, Oud for Greatness combo kind of vibes. There's got to be oud or patchouli or something like that. Let's just cut the chase and go straight to the window here, and I'll smell my skin in a bit. Wow. Wow, guys. I just got 100 times more interested in this fragrance. Vanilla, caramel, patchouli, almond, rum, oud, leather, sandalwood, ylang-ylang, white flower, oak moss. What I love about this pairing is normally seeing vanilla, caramel, almond, and rum together, even leather, for goodness sakes, feels very commonplace, right? But normally against all this, you might see leather in the base, right? Or sandalwood or rum in the base or vanilla in the base. But they put a great deal of contrastive elements. Specifically, the ylang-ylang is the big kicker here. Because I'm totally getting like the presence of ylang-ylang, not as like a distinct accord, but if you guys have smelled ylang-ylang before, it's a very distinct type of floral. Is it a floral? Yeah. It's a very distinct floral and accord in fragrance. It does smell like a yellow flower, even though that doesn't mean anything. I'm hoping you guys just pick up what I'm putting down. The ylang-ylang is tough. It's heavy in here. The oak moss is very present. The patchouli is very present. There's oud in here, guys. Guys, this is fresh oud. This is Oud for Greatness oud, fresh. Almost ozonic, but there's so much sweetness in the fragrance it doesn't quite cut through, but it just kind of adds this mystery earth element. But I think between patchouli, oud, leather, ylang-ylang, and oak moss, there's a great deal of contrastive elements going on with the accords. It tries to go holiday sweet, but it's just stopped in its tracks by a level of maturity and depth and complexity achieved by the contrast of so much earthiness coming into the fragrance. That oud fresh funk, that earthy patchouli, that leather, that animalic leather, it's super fresh here. It's not stank leather at all. These are all just putting weight and body and dimension to the fragrance. When I say dimension, guys, you can tell I'm getting over my sickness because my voice is the last thing to come back. And I apologize for my logo. We won't play that at the end. Sometimes it just decides to chime in. When I talk about dimension, guys, to a fragrance, look at it like a diamond. You know, like as the sun hits your jewels, the diamond has multiple cuts, and the sun kind of illuminates the different cuts and angles on the diamond, and it allows it to sparkle, right? Shine and glisten. All of these facets to the fragrance create a certain level of depth in the smelling experience in the air that takes you on a journey, but also has the type of complexity you would look for in all niche fragrances. I do believe that there are some linear niche fragrances that are worth the money. However, ideally, in terms of the psychology in my mind, when I want to spend money on niche perfumery, I want impulsively to get an experience like this, which is that you get facets to a fragrance, discovery to a fragrance, layer to a fragrance, spatial components, like being pulled out and pulled into different nooks and crannies of a fragrance. And yet in the air, you get this uniformity to it all. It's amazing how fragrance can do that. And I think shows the levels of tier when we talk about the difference between like levels in fragrance. In the clone experience that I've had, I've rarely come across fragrances that come to this level of transition and complexity. Um, and that's not a knock in any way, shape, or form, guys, because the level of depth and complexity with a fragrance like this is vast. I'm not just talking about 2 or 3 different facets here. There's a plethora of facets, not just accord facets, but like textural components, like now you see me, now you don't elements to the fragrance, the scent trail, the difference between how it is in the air versus the test strip versus the skin. Coming to it on skin, it feels more holiday-esque on the top, but you do smell this deep brush of patchouli and oak moss pushing through. The yang-ylang is less apparent on skin. But man, I mean, gosh dang it, man, this fragrance is mature and nice. When you look at this note pairing, I'm shocked how on skin, how much more mature it feels than it looks in the note pairing. It's sophisticated in the note pairing, but typically when you see stuff like rum, caramel, vanilla, almond and stuff, you automatically just assume Angel Share-esqueness, where it's like holiday vibes, sweet vibes, borderline gourmand. But on skin, it's truly not that gourmand at all. You get the caramel for sure, but there's so much richness and depth under it that has nothing to do with gourmand, food and stuff. Again, patchouli, oud, leather, sandalwood, yang-ylang, oak moss, white flower, that it is taking away any notion of a gourmand that you might think. This is entry-level gourmand at best, and then it almost just has this, I don't know, guys, the same kind of spritz of maturity through earthiness that like a Egypt would have or a Hachavat would have. It kind of treats the oak moss the same way in this fragrance in the most lightly gourmand, beautiful way possible. Okay, guys, I'm talking a whole lot here. Usual suspects here. Unisex fragrance. To put your nose in the wheelhouse of this, think Angel Share got into a fight with Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And Oud Wood won slightly, 60-40, right? A 60-40 sandwich of those two fragrances. And then the guy watching the fight on the sideline was Initio's Oud for Greatness. And because he's sitting there next to him, they caught a waft of his oudiness into the fray by a tiny margin. That's the wheelhouse to put your mind in if you never put your nose to this fragrance. Sin and Pleasure. I don't really think the name's fitting here. It's a very mature fragrance. I mean, it doesn't really go romantic sexy for me, but I do think there's a romantic sexiness about it, but it doesn't have anything traditional that we're familiar with other than maybe the vanilla. But the vanilla isn't really showcased in the same way I'm used to getting it in more romantic fragrances. It's a mature scent, but it's similar to Mary Jane. It's got a playfulness to it, but it's just very upscale and very complex. It's complex, playful. Anything from, to me, casual to semi-formal. Seasons, I tend to lean on cold weather, but again, there's so much earthy contrast and freshness. I think you could wear it like indoors. I don't think it's a sunny weather fragrance. I think it's an indoor fragrance, a nightlife fragrance, a cold weather fragrance, a holiday fragrance. It's very well balanced. Gosh, the perfumery was stellar. I hate to do it again, guys, but perfect. Guys, it's fun. It's fun, man. I think even if you didn't like anything in this wheelhouse, you would have to give it like a 9 at best. Like, off complexity alone. Like, I know complexity doesn't make everything to a fragrance, but it smells good as well. Dang, man. Born to Stand Out getting me with 2 10s off random selections? Good grief. Oh, man, guys. Yeah, man, I got to keep it a buck. Ageless fragrance for both men and women. I think it's perfectly unisex. Again, equally balanced with earthy richness and kind of this mineralic, oudy freshness with the kind of holiday sweet feel, which is traditionally unisex anyway. It's even got the cognac that Angel Share has, which is the thing to me that definitively is the only thing keeping the package, you know, the manhood intact on Angel Share. If it didn't have the cognac note, I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. So it's even got that. Or is it cognac or is it rum? Rum. Okay. Cognac's in Angel Share, but similar effect. Ageless on both sides. I told you guys the occasion-based sprays on this. I think it's pretty powerful. I think Mary Jane was a little bit stronger, but this is probably more like your 5-6 spray category. You could ramp up sprays on this though. Yeah, but the performance on this seems stellar. Let me look. Yeah, very long lasting. Very long lasting, guys. Very well done, guys. Again, I don't throw out 10s easily. You guys have seen me on this channel. I'm hard pressed to give out a 10. Very well done here. Born to Stand Out is off to a great start. Occasions. Playful, upscale, casual. Holidays. Date night for sure. Nightlife for sure. Outdoors, like a sunny day, but it's got an airiness outside, you know, on the water, on the beach, at a pool party. I mean, shoot, I'd wear this in a library. You know what I'm saying? I'd wear this out to the mall. You know, it's nice. It's romantic. It's expensive, casual. It's playful. It's holiday. I think nightlife as well. I wouldn't really say it's got like seductiveness to it. So when I say nightlife, I don't mean like nightlife where you're trying to attract the opposite sex or anything like that. I just mean like nighttime, you're out having a good time. This would be a good vibe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could even cigar lounge this up. Ladies night out, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, you could throw this on and feel good. Like you ain't really trying to get hollered at, but you're going to get looked at. You know what I'm saying? Very good fragrance. Sound off in the comments, guys, if you have any questions about this. I'm not going to play the logo again. You guys know where to find me. I'm really interested on y'all's thoughts from this house. What else do you guys recommend that I try out? Because now I'm all in with Born to Stand Out. I want to see what else they got. Similarly to Mind Games, I have a lot of respect for this house's ability to not present me with a linear fragrance that I dub unisex, but actually having like clear standout multi-dimensional composition or multi-dimensional complexity in the unisex category. Like it's not just a single note that I'm making out as masculine or feminine. There's like note combinations within note combinations, and then they come together, and those elements are distinctly genderish, yet when they come together, they are together writing parallel, but somehow have uniformity as well. It's just a fragrance journey. It's really nice, guys. Yeah. Sound off in the comments. I've kind of lost my train of thought. This was such a cool experience. Anything you guys need help with, let me know. Again, the fragrance sits at a 50 ml for like the $200 price point, but you can get samples, and I highly recommend you try this. If Micro Perfumes or something like that has this in a travel spray, I think it's definitely travel spray worthy, no question. You would have to really be in love with this profile to really upgrade to the 50 ml for the $200 price point. But this is certainly like a signature vibe that you would pull out every now and again. For people who aren't really into gourmand, but want to go gourmand safely at an entry level and still feel fresh and not like a snack. You just want to be snackish. Man, there's a great deal of earthiness in this that just tones it out. Like I said, Tom Ford won, but it's 60-40. It's really close. Anyways, love y'all, man. This is the Scent Bubble. This was Born to Stand Out's Sin and Pleasure Eau de Parfum, and it was a beautiful fragrance. Peace.